Hi, I'm just going to take a few minutes and tell you a little bit about how to make a beet a meal. A lot of people don't know how to cook these, and this is just a little quick tutorial that I put together on how to cook a beet. And don't forget, when you cook a beet, you get the starchy root as well as the veggie greens. Okay, I'm just going to share with you a little bit about using beets in your diet and cooking with them. A lot of people don't really cook with them because they seem like they take a long time to cook, and they actually do take a little bit of time to cook. But if you put them in the cooker and cook them for about 10 or 15 minutes, you're going to get a hard beet, and if you cook them for 20 to 30 minutes, you'll get a nice soft beet. On the beets themselves, the way that I wash them down is just to try to get as much as the stuff away without cutting it off. So you don't really want to peel the beets or even cut off the roots. You just want to keep them whole. Okay, so after you prepare all the beets, what I do is just I put them in a pan. I use a pressure cooker, but a lot of people don't use those. And just put the beets in the pan and cook them for 20 to 30 minutes. They should be soft within 20 to 30 minutes. Now, if you poke a fork in your beet and they're not quite done, then you can always take out the ones that are, just like with potatoes. So this beet, you notice, is a lot smaller in diameter than this beet. But you can either take them out at the same time or cook the other ones just to be a little bit softer. So I'm just going to show you a little bit about how I take the skin off the beets. So I just push the skin off and cut the very bottom of it off. And these have been, I just cook these and then put them in a baggie in the fridge and just peel them when I'm ready to use them. This way I can cook 4 or 5 beets, which beets are good to just eat in small amounts, if you know what I mean. So you can have them over several days. After I peel them, I usually just put a knife down through the middle and quarter them in about a bite-sized piece. So they're just little beet pieces like that. Now, the beets are naturally sweet. They have a real nice glycemic index to them, but they're not really many more calories than cooked carrots. And so one of the things that I like to do is to accentuate the sweetness by using a little bit of maple syrup, a couple of tablespoons, and a couple of tablespoons of red wine vinegar. And I put some McCormick pickling spice in that, about a little under a teaspoon would be enough, and then a little salt and pepper. So I've gone ahead and done that here so you can kind of see. This is the pickling spices with the maple syrup. It smells wonderful. Pickling spices have mace and cinnamon, allspice, mustard seed, coriander, bay leaf, ginger, cloves, red pepper, black pepper, cardamom. And so really there's a lot of flavor in this. You don't need to put any other pepper in them. This pickles them just really perfectly. So I just take my cut up beets and just drizzle that around them and let them sit in the fridge. Sometimes I do that with 3 or 4 beets. And then that will be really good put on a salad. You can notice that I'm already salivating. I'm salivating, this smells so good. So anyway, that's one good way to eat beets. The other way to eat beets that's really good is to just cut them up and warm them up or put them cold in your salads. So you can just peel this up and slice it up and either warm it up in the microwave for a second or two, for 20 seconds, and then put a little butter over it or just a little salt and pepper on it, and just a buttered beet. It's a really great way to eat beets. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so when you're in the store and you're looking for beets, you might want to find some beets that have nice greens with them so that you can use those as well. Beets are one of my favorite food, and in the summertime when I don't have them growing in my garden, I usually look for them in the store and gather them in the store. And the ones that I get, I always look for good size beet greens on them when I get them, because the beet greens are part of the nutritional benefit of the beets. Right now I've got some beets here from my garden that are fully fully ready to clean and cook. And I thought I'd let you see that some of the foliage around them has some dead stuff on it. You just break that off and get it away from the regular good beet greens. And then I just break off the whole entire clump of beet greens like this, because you don't really want to cut into the beet when you cook them or it bleeds too much. And then I save these beet greens and wash them and clean them and store them in my fridge until I'm ready to cook. They hold up really quite marvelously well in the fridge for up to a week. And this is what the beet greens would look like when they're cooked down. So I just wash them and clean them and cook them, and then I usually cut them up and serve them with a little bit of butter and salt and pepper. Just a couple of other reminders on the beet greens. You know, some people don't really like the texture, so sometimes I cut the long stems off, but they actually cook up pretty good. And if you don't really like the texture of these, sometimes what I do is I would serve it like in a soup, or, you know, just slice it up. But I personally think that this is really great in a pureed squash and red pepper soup. And I have recipes for that I'll share with you later. Well, thanks for watching my video on beets, and remember, if you grow them in your garden, they're going to be extra fresh. But if you go to the store, just look for the ones with the really nice, good beet greens. And if you like this video, be sure and like it.